أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Nagbabalik po ang programa po natin, Tuloy Po Kayo, Bisita, Serye. Nagbabalik po ang inyong host, Abdul Aziz. At ngayon po ay isang magandang gabi, no? Dahil may magandang bisita ho tayo. Hindi lamang hindi lamang kaalaman patungkol sa Islam ang may babahagi ho niya sa atin, kundi kaalaman sa scientificong pag-aaral. Ito po yung magbibigay siguro, no, pag napakinggan niyo yung kanyang mga kaalaman patungkol sa scientific basis, mashallah. May basis po bakit ang Islam ngayon, no, kung makita ho natin, may mga reasons. Kung dati hindi natin maintindihan, ngayon maintindihan ho natin. Bago po natin simulan, natin pakilala po ang ating bisita ngayong gabi, nais lang ho natin pasalamatan ng ating mga partners. At para sa mga car rental services na kailangan po natin, andito po ang ating partners na si AutoWorks Car Rental, D1, at dyan din po si Hermoso Car Rental. Nasa Camis naman po, Barangay Canelar. Bima Frozen Products, available po tayo. And of course, like, follow, and share Hermoso TV. And comment below highlights and at followers. Okay, at this juncture, it is my honor to present to you our guest of honor. Okay? But before that, meron lang ho tayong babasahin na konting citations patungkol sa kanya, no? Our guest for tonight, he graduated Magna Cum Laude. Okay, mashallah. Bachelor of Medicine in Biotechnology, specializing in genetic medicine from the Malaysian University of Science and Technology, a school created by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, USA. Graduated degree with high distinction in molecular medicine from the University of Malaya. Currently taking his master's degree in Islamic psychology in the International Open University. Trained in Shari'ah through NCMF, the Zamboanga Training Center. Okay? And from amongst his achievements, he is top 9 in Asia during the International Board of Medicine and Biomedical Research Licensure Examination as the youngest and the only Filipino from Tawi-Tawi to pass the International ASEAN Joint Coordinating Committee on Medical Practitioner Medical Council Board examinations. Recipient of 17 international awards in the field of medicine, biomedical sciences, and scientific research. Recipient of 5 international agricultural technology awards, Civil Service Commission examination, professional level. Former Epidemic Intelligence Service Officer for Western Africa and Southeast Asia in the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control and World Health Organization. Youngest Filipino doctor to lead the WHO team during the Ebola outbreak of 2014. International Journal peer reviewer for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, Mars Rover Biological and Sinological Lifeform Retrieval and Recovery Project, responsible for the design and implementation of COVID protocols, which laid the foundation and creation of the IATF. Pioneer researcher for development of the HIV/AIDS antiretroviral cure using hematopoietic homozygous stem cells, blood-forming stem cells from CCR5 delta 32 mutation gene therapy. Pioneer designer in hydroponic technology, published in multiple international news articles, designed Qatar and Malaysia's first commercial indoor hydroponic farm for commercial food production and pharmaceutical production use, published internationally in articles. Author of Vertical Horizontal Regulated Soilless Farming via Advanced Hydroponics for Domestic Food Production in Doha, Qatar, an article that addresses the issue of global food shortage and offers a sustainable solution that can last for over 200 years using smart technology and modern agricultural technology. Co-founder of Hickory Agritech, the first fully smart and AI-powered controlled environment and self-sustaining hydroponic farm for pharmaceutical and biologics production, and science and medical consultant, an artificial intelligence technology developer for Grok or GROK AI by Elon Musk. Subhanallah. Beloved brothers and sisters in faith who are watching with us tonight, it is really my honor and my pleasure to introduce to you our guest for tonight. If I'm going to sum this up, I may call him a scientist. Okay, subhanallah. Let's welcome Dr. Nick Uthman Kamlian Abdullah II.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Doc, mashallah.
Thank you.
Before we start with our discussion tonight, I'll be honest. Okay, this is my first time to read such citations of a young man like you, coming from a simple town of Tawi-Tawi. Subhanallah. If I may, our guest tonight, no, sinama. Tama magsinama. Native sinama speaker. Okay? And of course, he is one of, I think, one of the best humble men I've ever met. Okay, subhanallah. Doc, mashallah, Doc. Okay. Now, before we go to our topic tonight about the fasting, okay, the science of fasting, let's talk about yourself muna, Doctor. Okay, mashallah, Doc. I think it is befitting for you to, aside from my own introduction about you, mas maganda, Doc, manggaling po sa inyo. Mas lingkat bang minkaa. Tahati kami, ka, miningga ka, Doc. Kasi ay mga mga studies no batinaan inshallah. Fadal, Doc.
So, alhamdulillah, nakagraduate po ako. I graduated from Malaysia University of Science and Technology. And I studied medicine, focusing on genetic medicine po.
Mashallah.
So, ang genetic medicine po, basically, what we do is, we focus on the root cause ng isang disease.
Okay.
So, we have something like cancer. So, cancer, it is usually caused by a gene sa ating katawan. So, instead of treating cancer like any other disease, ang tinitreat namin yung mismong root, which is the gene. So, papalitan namin yung gene in order for you to remove the cancer on your own. So, no chemotherapy, no any other pharmaceutical use. Basically, yung gene mismo papalitan. And I took my master's degree din po for molecular medicine.
Mashallah.
And that is basically an evolution of genetic medicine. Now, in molecular medicine naman po, ang focus naman po namin is how molecules in our body can be manipulated to fight off disease. So, hindi lang po mismo yung gene, we go deeper. So, ano ang nagbibuild sa gene po mismo? Atomic level po tayo.
Even if the cause of the disease is viral and bacterial in nature?
Yes po. Yes po. So, for one good example is, halimbawa po, rhinovirus, which is ang nagkakos ng flu, mga ganon. So, what we do is, we have this technology na palitan yung receptors ng cells natin, yung parang antena ng cells natin, na yun ang ina-attack ng virus. Doon sila kumakapit. So instead of being able to latch themselves into that, papalitan namin yun para hindi ka ma-affected ng rhinovirus itself. And marami pong current studies na trying to address all kinds of diseases. Inshallah, one day, we're trying to eliminate most of the diseases po through that technology.
Inshallah. Doc, I think this night will not be enough. If you're just going to discuss everything about medicine and scientific basis. Okay? But aside from your study, Doc, in Malaysia, you finish your medicine in there, you've been working with different organizations, right? So, can you please give us one of it?
Right after graduation, actually before graduation, hindi po ako nakapag-march sa graduation namin dahil nung matapos ang semester po, I was headhunted by WHO right away. So they came to our university, pumipili sila ng mga who would volunteer. And one One of my mentors, I still remember Dr. Dennis, siya ang nagpumili talaga sa akin. Sabi niya, would you like to be part of WHO and European Center for Disease Control? And being young, medyo aggressive pa sa buhay, sabi ko, yes, of course.
Mashallah.
So, alhamdulillah, na-recruit po tayo. Deploy po kaagad. Na-deploy po
Mashallah.
kaagad kami. So,
Mashallah.
although hindi ako naka-march sa graduation, it was still an experience na hindi ko ipagpapalit, no? Kasi I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot during that trip talaga.
Doc, let's talk about your personal life and where you came from. Okay, from Tawi-Tawi. If we may ask, your name is, you have a Kamlian in there and Abdullah.
Yes po.
Okay, would you like to introduce us to your family?
Yes po. So, for Kamlian, my grandfather was actually the late regional director of NCMF, which is
Oh,
Sheikh
mashallah.
Bahari Kamlian.
Oh, mashallah.
And for Abdullah naman, my grandfather from my father's side was the late, my late grandfather was the former assemblyman for Region 9 sa ARMM, which is Muhammad Rasul Abdullah.
Mashallah. But from the time you have studied in Malaysia, okay, up to this very moment, but you still have time to go visit Simunul.
To be honest po, I haven't been to Simuno for a very long time
Okay.
due to my schedule and due to my career, no,
Yeah,
and pinagkakaabalahan po. But yeah, I hope to one day visit. And actually, my wife is also from Simunol, and yeah, we have plans to visit one day.
Inshallah, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, there you have it. Okay, now, Doc, our discussion for tonight is, since Ramadan is,
Yes.
inshallah, coming soon, let's talk about fasting. Okay, we have a lot of questions about fasting coming out, like, what's the benefits of it? Like, you know, I was working as a medical representative before, and I met doctors. And then in one town, I went to visit one friend, a doctor, and then I was fasting that time. Okay? He asked me, "Why are you fasting?" I said, "It's because it is it is a sunnah, and it has been inutos sa atin."
Inutos sa
Inutos sa atin. And then sabi niya, "Do you know what's the benefit of it?" He himself explained to me the benefits of fasting. Okay. Now I said, I think I need to make a research on this. Okay, as a Muslim, I need to know what are the benefits of it. But scientifically or scientific basis, I don't have it. Okay. Alhamdulillah. I think it's befitting to ask you about this, doctor. With fasting, do we have any current studies or discovery? What is the benefit, or what are the breakthrough of fasting in science?
Okay, that's a great question. Basically, when we talk about fasting, we're talking about the Islamic fasting during
Yes,
Ramadan. Now, there is a current study which was just 10 years ago by Dr. Osumi of Japan, and he actually discovered this cellular process called autophagy.
Autophagy.
Autophagy means, basically, the word itself means self-eating. So, kinakain niya po ang sarili niya. And what is the connection to that sa Islamic fasting? Now, autophagy, ang ginagawa ng katawan natin during autophagy is, the cells do clean up sa ating katawan. So, all the toxic waste, kinakain po ng sariling cells natin. Old cells are being thrown away, are being renewed. Basically, you're trying to make yourself younger by eating yourself. It sounds funny, pero yun po yung process na nangyayari, ano? And very time sensitive po itong autophagy, no? So,
time sensitive, though.
Yeah, it's time sensitive. Now, the Goldilocks zone for autophagy is 12 to 16 hours, which is actually related, perfect time during fasting during Ramadan. Our fasting lasts between 12 to 16 hours. Depende sa Malaysia, 15 hours. Sa atin dito, 14 hours. Sa ibang bansa, 16 hours. And no more than that, di ba? And no lesser than that. Now, the amazing thing about this is, kapag lesser than 12 hours ang fasting, autophagy does not kick in. Hindi po siya nangyayari.
Okay.
Kapag naman sumobra, if it goes beyond 16 hours, our body goes into starvation mode.
Okay.
Which is the process of our body eating itself, yung protein, hindi yung mga toxic waste. So during this 12 to 16 hours lang po nangyayari ang autophagy.
Subhanallah.
So, being prescribed in the Quran, which is really amazing, no? And recent lang siya na-discover. Nanalo siya actually, Nobel Prize in
Nobel Prize,
Medicine for that.
mashallah.
And yeah, the very basic connection of science into fasting, basically it just proved how fasting is beneficial. And marami pa pong discoveries, marami pa pong benefits ang fasting. For example, another I can give in is prevention of type 2 diabetes.
Oh, mashallah, Doc.
So basically, when we're fasting, bumababa po yung insulin levels natin because our sugar levels drop. Now, when this goes down, during this window, ang katawan natin is nagde-develop siya ng better regulation for our insulin. Our body goes into this state called ketosis, which is actually the main basis of keto diet, di ba?
Yes,
We're
yes.
trying to do that.
Yes.
But yung pinaka-sweet spot talaga is 12 to 16 hours, and it only kicks in after that certain fasting. And that fasting, because there's a lot of fasting na pwedeng water, pwedeng that, but our fasting is strict, bawal pati water.
Yes,
And
nothing per oren talaga, Doc.
And that's the very condition na kailangan ng katawan natin. We have to stop drinks, stop food, di ba? And yan ang condition na kailangan ng katawan natin para mag-achieve tayo ng ketosis, mag-achieve tayo ng autophagy.
Mashallah. Kung titingnan mo, Doc, mashallah, no? Ang pangyayaring ganito, itong discovery na ito, 1400 years ago,
Yes.
wala siya.
Wala.
Talagang hindi mo maintindihan ano siya, ano ibig sabihin niya. Bakit mo kailangan mag-fast? No? Galing sa madaling araw, papuntang hapon. Okay? So, hindi mo rin alam anong benefits niya.
Yes.
Okay? Pero since ito'y utos ni Allah,
We have
ginagawa
our faith.
natin. Because of our faith, no? Ginagawa natin. But now, recent study, medicine proves it.
Yes.
Ang benefits niya ay napakarami.
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 And currently, a lot of scientists, some of them I know personally,
Yes.
they switch their studies from, diseases into the benefits of fasting. How to prove actually things from the Quran, things from the Sunnah, even though they're not Muslims po. I have friends who are Chinese, who are Indians, but they're focusing on this line of study.
Madagdag ko lang din, Doctor, no? Ang bisitaw natin sa because of his connection with WHO, ang dami nang napuntahang bansa, ang dami nang napuntahang mga studies. No?
Yes po.
Doc, so napakalawak ng kaalaman ng ating doktor ngayong gabi, no, mashallah. Doc, next question ko, Doctor, na since our visitor, our guest tonight is currently taking his master's degree in psychology at the International Open University, I have one question here, Doc, related to it. Okay.
Yes, po.
Inshallah. But this is still fasting.
Yes.
What are the effects of fasting on mental clarity and focus?
Great question po. So basically po, like I said, when we're fasting, di ba po bumababa ang blood sugar natin,
Yes,
bumababa ang lahat, ang glucose level natin.
Doctor.
So kapag nangyayari yun, actually ang katawan natin nagpo-produce ng BDNF. BDNF, basically, it's a type of protein. It means brain-derived neurotrophic factor. And yung simple na protein na pinoproduce ng katawan natin 12 to 16 hours after fasting. Take note, fasting including the drinks. Walang drinks, walang food. Pinoproduce ng katawan natin in a very large amount. And that amount na yun is directly linked sa improved focus, improved yung tinatawag natin khushu during when we're praying. Yes, that's also the reason bakit during Ramadan maraming nagsasabi parang ang holy naman ng pakiramdam ko, sobrang focus ako sa sala, di ba? It's actually that yung BDNF. Pag tumataas yun, tumataas din ang sense of clarity ng mind natin and even the mood. And that's also directly related. Bakit? Tuwing Ramadan, kung may kilala kang taong mabilis magalit, pero during Ramadan, not all, but some that I know, medyo gumagaan yung mood nila, hindi sila masyadong, they say na kasi nga hindi tayo pwede magalit during Ramadan, but at the back of our heads, nagwo-work yung brain natin to actually prevent us. Kasi mood is something primal eh. Hindi mo siya basta-basta
Absolutely.
makokontrol actually. Yung galit na nandyan, mahirap siyang kontrolin. But during Ramadan, during the state of fasting, tinutulungan tayo mismo ng katawan natin to improve our mood. And yon ang reason bakit tuwing Ramadan, mas madaling makipag-usap sa tao
Yes,
nang
Doc.
walang gossip, walang masamang sinasabi.
It only proves the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yes.
You know? During fasting, when someone provokes you
You say,
to
I am
get anger,
fasting, I'm
are you going
fasting.
to just answer, I am fasting.
Nasain.
I am
Yeah.
fasting.
Yes.
Anasai, manasai.
Yeah.
Okay, so that thing is a great, shall we say, basis. No?
Yes, po.
That hadith is not only a hadith.
Yes.
May scientific basis na
Yes,
po siya.
po.
Dok, balikan natin yung sinasabi nyo kaninang protein something in the brain.
Yes, BDNF po.
BDNF.
Yes.
Is this a neurotransmitter substances or different classifications siya?
Different classification po siya.
Okay.
Bale, it's basically a protein na pinoproduce lang ng ating brain
Okay.
na kumakapit sa ating prefrontal cortex.
Okay.
Basically, kapag mataas ang levels ng BDNF natin, yung decision makings natin, lahat which is done by the prefrontal cortex, kumbaga nag-i-improve siya.
Mashallah.
You're better in making good decisions, and when you're someone who has no scientific background, sabihin mo, it's a blessing from Allah, and it is a blessing from Allah in the form of ina-understand natin how it happens. And like I always say, ang science hindi porket natuklasan natin means mas magaling tayo sa Allah. No. In fact, my personal motto is science is too young to understand religion.
Mashallah.
And it is a tool na binigay sa atin ng Allah just to satisfy our cravings for little bit of knowledge. Kasi may mga tao kasi na mahirap mapaniwala. And I was one of that person before when I was still studying na I have to know facts, I have to see numbers, I have to see results,
You
I
need
have
to
to
have
see,
basis.
kailangan hard facts siya
Hard
nandyan.
facts, yes.
And alhamdulillah, hinumble ako ng Allah. Because of my studies in science, mas na-connect ko siya papunta sa religion. And right now, I'm one of the advocates how to unite science and religion, using science to understand the miracles of Allah.
You know, Doc, sabi ko lang, no, yung sinabi nyo kanina, science is still too young
Yes.
to explain religion.
Yes.
No? So meaning to say, even perhaps 1%, hindi pa
Not
na-explain
even
ng science.
1%.
Not even 1%. Subhanallah.
I'll give you a great example po niyan, no? Most of the studies in science ngayon are tinatawag na theoretical.
Yes,
Theoretical. We see the connections but we cannot prove it yet.
Absolutely.
And I think since everything was designed by Allah, just imagine everything na meron tayo. The processes of our body, the sun, the moon, the stars, the universe, create yan ng Allah. And we are trying to understand all of that. Hindi kakayanin ng brain natin. As a student of psychology, I know that may limit yung kakayanan natin. May limit yung kakayanan natin to understand. Kaya siya gradual natin nalalaman. And I know for a fact na we will not know everything.
Absolutely.
And that's the base of our faith. That's the basis of our faith. We have to have faith not into something na we don't know, but something na we know, but we don't have to know more about it, di ba?
Subhanallah. Alam nyo, very fruitful, no?
Yes.
Ang lawak ko ng malalaman natin ngayong gabi patungkol lamang sa fasting. Ang dami nating ma-explain, Doc. Subhanallah. Doc, next question. How can faith-based fasting practices inform and enhance scientific understanding of fasting and its benefits?
Okay, so basically, no, when we say faith-based fasting, yan ang prescribe sa atin. So, 1,000 years ago, we had no equipments, we have no way to prove ano ang benefits. We have this, something we call a faith, belief na tinuro sa atin, na sinabi sa atin ng Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, susundin natin. And now science is slowly unraveling ngayon lang, 10, 15, 20 years ago lang, proves yung mga tinuro sa atin ay factual. Hindi lamang kata-kata, hindi lang basta sinabi.
Opo.
I'll give you an example kung bakit kailangan, how science would actually increase our faith, especially during this fasting season. Isa sa mga sunan ng Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to break our fast using 3 dates.
Yes.
And marami
Yes.
nagtataka,
Oh, bakit 3 dates?
ano yung reason,
Yes,
no?
no.
And actually, the main reason for that is, based din ito sa science, based din ito. You can actually search it in any articles, ilalabas niyan. 3 dates is exactly the exact amount na kailangan ng katawan natin with the amount of simple sugars. When we say simple sugars, yan ang glucose, fructose, kasama dyan yung table sugar, sucrose. Pero ang sucrose, medyo ano pa siya, one level up pa siya. Kailangan pa siya i-break down into glucose and fructose. Now, glucose and fructose, hindi masya-shock ang katawan natin kapag break natin ang fast natin using that. And it is not complex enough para magkaroon siya for you to have a sugar crash out or a sugar burnout later.
Yes.
Because if you try to break your fast with something really sweet, not simple sugars like juice, artificial juice, or soft drinks or anything, later on, you're gonna feel dehydrated, you're gonna feel down, because bumababa ng level ng sugar, blood sugar natin. But 3 dates is the exact amount our body needs para itaas ang katawan natin from the state of hunger into state of satisfaction, yung just the bare minimum. And 3 dates has the exact amount of potassium and magnesium na kakailangan din ng katawan natin dahil uhaw tayo buong araw, di ba?
Electrolytes,
And
ito,
kapag uhaw tayo, hindi lang tubig ang nawawala. Electrolytes, potassium, magnesium, kailangan natin yan. So with that 3 dates, actually, when you practice that, 1, 2, 3 days during fasting, mararamdaman mo, 3 days actually is enough. Busog ka na actually. Hindi ka na mag-crave ng mga heavy food. And that's also connected sa tinuro sa atin na hindi tayo dapat mag-overeating.
Okay.
Di ba?
You know, Doc, practice in our country, we know it.
Guilty din ako dyan minsan.
Kasi bakit, no? Parang lumalakas yung benta ng mga mangingisda pag ganyang panahon, no? Bakit? Dahil lahat gusto ihanda sa mesa, Doc, di ba?
Yes.
Lahat gusto ipakain kasi nga buong araw ka walang kain.
Yeah.
Okay? But now, we find a reason. Now, we find the explanation why 3 dates. The hadith of Rasulullah SAW, his prophetic tradition has, hindi siya sinasabi natin walang basihan.
Yes.
Okay? May basis na ho tayo ngayon.
Yes.
May science explanation na tayo ngayon. Okay? Mashallah, napakagandang talakayan, no? Doc, magbabalik po tayo.
Okay,
We're just going to have a quick break. Inshallah, we'll be back after a short reminders.
Rent a car? No problem. AutoWorks Car Rental. Self-drive. With driver. Out of town. Worry-free. Free delivery, free pickup, free car wash, automatic, manual transmission, and many to choose from. Hatchback, sedan, 7-seater, SUV, pickup, van, and many more. We are located beside Katipunan Bank, Giwan, Zamboanga City. Call us now at 0966-427-3860 or visit us on Facebook, AutoWorks Car Rental.
Open 24/7.
Alright, we're back. At tuloy po kayo, Bisita Serye. Kasama niyo pa din po ang inyong host, Brother Abdulaziz, at ang ating bisita ngayong gabi ho, si Dr. Abdullah II. Para ho sa mga car rental services po natin, available po ang ating AutoWorks Car Rental dito ho sa Giwan, Hermoso Car Rental sa Camins, Barangay Canilar, and then for your frozen foods products ho, mayroon po tayong available sa Dima, Dima Frozen Products. And of course, like and follow and share Hermoso TV. Comment down below at highlight at followers. Okay, to continue, Doc, malapit na ho magtapos yung ating programa. How I wish mapahaba pa natin to, Doc, na sa mga discussion ho natin. But then, Doc, one of the questions before we end, can the scientific benefits of fasting enhance one's spiritual experience? And if so, how?
Ang sagot po dyan is yes po. Definitely yes. Kasi, like we mentioned earlier, kapag during the state of fasting, after that 12 to 16 hours na fasting time natin, nagproproduce yung katawan natin ng BDNF.
Yes.
So, during that production, tumataas yung moods natin, elevated siya into a good kind of feeling sa katawan natin. Our moods are improved, our focus are improved, our mental clarity is improved, and that itself connected siya sa cushion natin during prayer.
Inshallah.
There are some people who reported, may nabasa akong studies, na during Ramadan, focus na focus sila sa pagsasala. And after Ramadan, sabi, bakit parang nawawala ang focus?
Yes po.
And that itself, the reason is that, yung BDNF na yon. And hindi lang dapat actually sa Ramadan tayo mag-focus, no? It's something na pinaparamdam sa atin. I believe so, no? Na pinaparamdam sa atin ng Allah na during this holy month, kaya mo. Kaya mong gawin yan. Kaya mong mag-focus sa sala. Kaya mong mag-focus sa ibada. And hindi mo kailangan na parang constantly ka na parang exposed sa ganun. Your body itself makes that reason kung bakit focus na focus ka sa spiritual sense ng life mo, di ba? And so yes, if you ask me yung benefits ba ng Ramadan, ng fasting, can it enhance our spirituality? Yes, very much.
Mashallah, mashallah. Alhamdulillah, napakagandang explanation do. Just a curiosity. Okay, since we have discussed about fasting and its benefits scientifically. Okay. Are there any sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam na may explanation na ho ang medicine?
Marami po, no? Marami
Marami.
po. One example po that yung binigay natin kanina, yung dates.
Yung dates
And
po.
I'll give you another po, yung pag-iinom ng tubig na nakaupo.
Nakaupo. Yes
Yeah.
po, doctor.
This is not so recent, but recently lang siya nag-pop up. It's a study around 2000, 1999, 2000, 2001. It is actually proven na kapag umiinom ka ng tubig ng nakatayo, it can actually damage your internal organs, basically your stomach, your small and large intestines, lahat yon dahil direkto ang pag-agos ng tubig.
Yes.
Now, when you sit down, tulad ng sunnah ng Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and drink it in sips, meaning maliliit, yan actually ang nire-recommend ng mga doctors ngayon. You have to sit down. Yeah, why? Because proven by science, sa kapag nakaupo, gradual ang flow ng tubig. And another is black seeds, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a fan of black seeds, no, kasi personally, alam ko yung benefits niya. Naranasan ko ang benefits niya. I actually had gout before, and very bad case siya. And as a doctor, ayoko pumunta sa another doctor, just nagre-reklamo na meron akong ganun. Kind of like a pride ego thing.
Okay.
So, of course, I turned to the sunnah. So, nag-order ako ng black seeds, I processed it into an oil, and I took 3 drops, no. I'm not saying this is something that you should do, but something definitely you have to look into before you try.
Yes.
And there are studies, medical studies, scientific articles proving this, na basically, black seeds reduces inflammation to the point na halos mawala yung gout mo. This is my personal experience. It can work differently for you, but I've seen studies, I've read articles na proves this effect ng black seeds talaga.
If science has an explanation about the black seed and it works with you as with your experienced doctor, with others it doesn't work, pwede kayo nilang sabihin na perhaps sa iyo placebo effect siya.
Pwede nilang sabihin yun, but the thing is, binasa ko yung articles.
Absolutely.
I've seen the data.
Yes.
I've seen how it works, and someone with a scientific background, medyo naintindihan ko naman yung ginawa nila. Although, not 100% kasi hindi ko specialty yung food processing and then yung alternative medicine. And actually, sa inflammatory disease studies, mga articles, no? Ang gumagawa nito, mga internist talaga, mga medical doctors natin sa internal medicine, sila talagang gumagawa ng articles na to. And some of them, I know some of them, hindi pa sila Muslim, ha?
Yes, I see.
I have friends who are Indian, who are Chinese doctors, who does this study. Hindi lang black seeds. Basically, ano yung sunnah, mga tinuturo sa atin, mga foods na nire-recommend sa atin,
yung
practices.
pinag-aaralan nila.
Yes, practices. And another I can give you is yung pagsasala.
Yes,
Ang pagsasala natin, the positions we take, especially during sujud, is actually good for our spine. There are several orthopedic studies about that. Actually, mahanap nyo lang, isa-search nyo lang Muslim prayer, medical benefits. And then lalabas yung mga articles doon, lalo na kapag gumamit ng Google Scholar, like that.
And Doc, as we Muslim, our belief is when you take medicine, it's not actually the medicine that curing you or
Exactly.
treating you.
Mhm.
It is just you call this a sabab, right?
Yes.
A reason why you are being cured, but Allah cured you.
Definitely.
Okay, definitely.
As a man of medicine, no, all kinds of na iniinom nating gamot is actually poison in controlled doses.
In controlled doses.
Um, acetaminophen
Yes.
actually came from willow tree, the bark of a willow tree.
Yes, Doc.
So during before, wala pang tablet, wala pa ginangat-ngat nila yung bark to have that pain relieving effect, no. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Even now, may mga taong kahit anong inom ng gamot hindi nawawala ang sakit. And actually most of the doctors, even I myself, cannot give an explanation kasi it should work. If you look at the data, it should look at the study. But being a man of faith myself, alam ko, you're only cured kapag gusto ka i-cure ng Allah. And hindi ko din naman sinasabi na hindi mo kailangan ng gamot. Pero there are cases I've seen, personally, I've seen miracle cases, no. Hindi na siya makukuha sa gamot, hindi na siya makukuha sa ganitong treatment. Kumbaga, merong term, waiting na lang siya, diba? But subhanallah, after a week, gumaling.
Divine intervention.
Yes. And meron din cases na he had all the equipments, he had all the medicine possible, he had all the money to buy, hindi pa rin siya gumaling.
Absolutely. It is still in the power of Allah subhanahu wa
Yes.
ta'ala. Alhamdulillah. Doc, currently, with all these studies you have gone through, with all your achievements, okay, with where you are right now, are you still pursuing studies?
Yes.
Are there future studies you want to
Inshallah, no, meron. I'd like to share the study that I'm doing now. I always tell myself na kahit, alhamdulillah, na-reach ko itong level of knowledge, I'll always be a student. Not a student of anything, but a student in the form of the student of Islam. Para sa akin kasi, all of this, yung science, yung part yan ng Islam. Hindi siya explicitly said, but I believe na binigay siya sa atin. Of course, binigay siya sa atin ng Allah para maintindihan. So I'm always gonna be a student, and in that sense, patuloy akong nag-learn. And currently, actually, I'm doing my thesis sa International Open University under Islamic Psychology. Ang thesis ko, hindi ko na i-mention yung title kasi mahaba siya and medyo komplikado, but basically, ang thesis ko is, as a man of science, how do I use medical knowledge, medical equipment, and medical tools to prove how Aqidah, manhaj, and all the practices of current Muslims in the world, how it affects their decision making, their personality, the way sila magsalita,
their
the way
thinkings.
Yes, the thinkings, yung mga choices na ginagawa nila. How the Aqidah itself, basically yung doctrine natin, yung practices, how it affects that. And I'm not particularly singling out one particular Aqidah. I'm studying all of them. And basically, how do I prove that? Using science, Gagamit ako ng mga equipment such as ECG, EEG, stress hormones. Lahat yan kukunin ko samples nila during the interview, during the meron silang mga forms and questions na i-answer, no. So while they're doing that, itetest namin gaano kataas yung stress levels nila and how that correlates exactly sa practices nila.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah, Doc. Alhamdulillah. May Allah always guide you, Doctor.
Inshallah.
May Allah let you finish your research
Amin,
and your
amin.
master's degree. Alhamdulillah. Now, I'm still overwhelmed, to be honest. Okay? To be honest, I met a scientist tonight. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Anything that I want to share with Dr. Abdullah right now, perhaps the experience being with you right now. Okay,
Alhamdulillah.
mashallah.
Likewise po.
The knowledge of medicine, of scientific basis, and the correlation of fasting with our explanation today. No, napakalaki yun, napakaganda.
Yes.
At ngayon, naintindihan natin yung benefits nito. Hindi lang ito dahil ginawa ni Propeta Muhammad na inutos din ng Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, pero may basis na tayo.
Yes.
Okay, mashallah. So, it is something, if bangka tubang mo sadya dibdibin, no? Dibdibin mo at hisabunnal mo, hitunay mo ing kapatot sin Allah ta'ala, at tungod si mga inipardaakan niya, dumagbo si Naaga Makeng.
Yes.
Gatin hantang niya,
Oo,
subhanallah. Okay, we mix languages here. Okay, inshallah. Now, I think we come to an end. Okay, alhamdulillah. I'm very honored, and it is really my pleasure to be with someone like Dr. Nick Uthman Abdullah, to have him in our show right now. Right now, tuloy po kayo. No? Bisita, Serye. So I think, Doc, we're going to end our discussion tonight.
Thank you so much din po
Yes.
for having
Anything
me.
else you want to shoutouts? Mga family no, Doc, Mintawi-Tawi.
Oh yeah,
Magkamusta kami
shout out
siya?
lang po sa mga hindi ako sanay, no? Pero yeah, to my family sa Tawi-Tawi, the family of my wife, and I'm sure my wife is watching right now,
Yeah.
parents of my wife, mga cousins, and relatives. Hello sa inyong lahat. Assalamualaikum.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. You know, I feel your humility. MashaAllah, Doctor. Alhamdulillah. At this juncture, so we'll be ending our program for tonight for this episode ng Tuloy Po Kayo, Bisita Serye, together with me, Brother Abdulaziz. And of course, before we finally end, we'd like to thank our partners, our AutoWorks Car Rental for your car services. We're located here at Giwan. Likewise, we have the Hermoso Car Rental at Canelar, and of course, Dima Frozen Products and Hermoso TV. Thank you so much. And this has been your host. My name is Abdul Aziz. And tuloy po kayo, Serye. Bisita, Serye. Magbabalik sa next episode po natin, inshallah.